Ni hao. And let's all say ni hao while we still are allowed to in this free country of ours, the US of A. Today's show, and welcome back to Vox Terra, if I forgot to tell you, aka Hidden Agendas. Today's show is about those new tariffs you probably heard the Biden administration slapped on China. And those tariffs, and by the way, while I am criticizing Joe Biden, do not get the wrong idea and think that means I'm going to be voting for Trump. I sure as heck ain't. Those new tariffs, the Biden administration slapped. I like that word, slapped. On Chinese electric cars, solar panels, advanced batteries, all stuff we could barely get from China any longer anyway. And that ain't all though, amigo. There's a lot of stuff we ain't able to get from there like we used to be able to. And I think this stinks. Now, you know, if you watch a few of my shows, I do not like China bashing. Well, why not? What's going on? One, I think it fuels up hatred against people who seem to be Asian within non-Asian countries, or perceived that way. It distracts from change at home, and I put any otherizing, any hating any country does, but especially so in China. It protects status quo, and one of the biggest status quos it protects, really two, the military-industrial complex, fossil fuel petrochemical industries, at a time when our planet is superheated by that fossil fuel petrochemical industry, at a time like I've shown you in other shows when all these green bills and green initiatives are getting stalled out, getting thwarted, getting put down by pushback from those industries. And the arguments I heard representatives from the Biden administration use on national public radio are arguments I've been hearing over my whole life. In fact, they go back before my life. China's been getting bullied around since the 1800s when the British Empire burned down their navy and forced them to start buying opium. Same kind of arguments. Free trade, you guys aren't playing unfair, that emperor, rah, 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 rah. Same stuff then as now. We don't learn about it. That's why it's so easy to fuel up hate that backfires against us. Because let's look at the reality of where we are with the environment. Yeah, we got Joe Biden in there. That was a way to stop Bernie Sanders with his outrageous Green New Deal. And we got this Inflation Reduction Act, which it does some good stuff, but it also has some stuff that helps out the fossil fuel industry. And every little good thing it does gets pushed back against, argued against. You know, people rise up to stop wind turbines everywhere they try to cite them. Make fun of it on Fox, ignore it on so-called liberal media outlets, ignore the environment in general. Meanwhile, waiting in the wings, which many Americans look very ready to put back in office, is Donald J. Trump, Mr. I'm going to be a dictator on first day and drill, baby, drill, and build a wall, which sounds to me like, yeah, let's just keep pumping this biosphere full of fossil fuels, petrochemicals, carcinogens, everything toxic, everything bad. Keep doing it, baby. Keep making moolah the way you're making it. Build a big wall to keep out all those hungry zombies that are going to be coming in as climate refugees. And ignore the fact that as you destabilize this weather, as you're pumping 40 billion tons of known heat-trapping gases by burning fossil fuels into the atmosphere annually, you know what? Our weather right here in the US of A is getting all out of whack, and it's going to be harder to farm here too. It already is. So meanwhile, we're doing very little, pushing back against everything that people are trying to do, ready to put Trump back in there, who's going to undo the little bit that's done and just drill, baby, drill. One of the arguments I heard from this guy from the Biden administration, I think he was the European Union ambassador maybe, he said China's unfair because they've got 3 times the manufacturing capacity, or have like 3 times the amount of solar panels, lithium-ion batteries, and electric vehicles that they need for domestic consumption. They got to sell them, and they're selling them cheap. It's unfair trade, dumping, blah, blah, blah. Heard it the whole way through. It ignores all the subsidies we give to industries, we in quotes here, because we don't even know about it. Okay, there's a website called Subsidy Tracker. Just check that out. But you do know about it, right? Everywhere industry is subsidized, dominant industries, pay to play it's called. We all know about it. Tax breaks, tax abatements, bailouts. It's endless, my friend. And the biggest subsidy of all is called market externalities, meaning the price of that plastic pollution, the price of that lawn pesticide that many people are running around spraying on their lawns, the cancers they cause. It's all just pushed onto the public. It's not factored in the cost of that product, be it a disposable cup, be it that plastic wrapping, everything comes in. None of it. And we're just going around guzzling, burning, going through stuff every day. Many of us don't like having to live this way, but that's the system we got. And here China's now got 3 times the amount of solar panels, batteries, EVs they can use. We can't afford to buy EVs. They're too expensive. We got a very limited selection. All this talk about we're going electric is all stalling out, getting pushed back against. And now, instead of saying, you know what, well, let's work with China, buy their stuff while we can. It's same old, China's bad, China's bad, China's bad. Everything they do good is bad. So you know what, instead of buying their stuff, working with them, let's go around the world building hostile military alliances, bring in India into it. India, who has a lot of their own human rights, records here with labor, how they're treating Muslims, etc. Ignore all that because they're part of this alliance to contain the threat from China. The quote threat from China. I mean, flip it around, amigo. The Bible says, look at the mote in your own eye. Maybe not yours and I, because we don't really. I'm not promoting all these wars, but look at all the wars, all the coups, all the drone assassinations that we, in quotes, have been doing. Where's the threat? I mean, you can flip this all around in your head. So instead of working with them, we're just going to put down everything they do and then tell the world, you know what? Go around, not just building hostile military alliances, surrounding them by bases. We're not surrounded by their bases. They're surrounded by our bases. And then we're going to go around, don't buy their stuff. Join us in the trade tariffs. Put up tariffs on their solar panels. Don't buy them. Don't buy their EVs. I bet a lot of us would like to have a $10,000 EV that doesn't have all the gizmos and blah, blah, blah. That's one of the reasons why I heard they're so cheap is they don't have all this like gizmos. I just want an electric drivetrain. I really don't want a rolling iPad. Okay, I just want a car that has this electric operated and I'll spare all the other newfangled stuff. And it ain't just that, like I was saying. We used to be able to get, in the 90s, you could get really inexpensive silk and lightweight cotton shirts. You can't get them now, probably because of these tariffs. And as the planet heats up, because of the burning of fossil fuels, plastics, blah, 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 we now only get more uncomfortable fabrics, largely made out of polyester, because stop China. And there you go. Just live against nature. I mean, to me, it looks like bully this country around, choke them. So to me, China bashing is not just that it fuels hatred against people who are seen to be Asian, not just that it distracts from change at home because we're not changing stuff, we're just going to bash them instead. But the result of it really is just it supports these industries like the military industrial complex. We've got to buy way more, got to upgrade our nukes, everything, blah, 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 scare them into upgrading their nukes. And always comes out, fossil fuels get ahead out of this deal when our whole planet's heating. And I think that's why I said, I think the situation stinks. I think it stinks to high heaven, as they used to say. Oh yeah, and just little food for thought. They're also trying to build a moon base. And couldn't you just see, 20 years from now, whenever that happens, some American politician like, we got to stop their moon base. We're going to blow it up. And everybody being, oh, fine. Right? So stop them from building EVs. Don't buy their stuff. Blow up their moon base. This backfires on not just Americans. This backfires on the whole planet. Well, hey, I hope you found this interesting food for thought. Entertaining. I'm trying to entertain you a bit here. Liked it, disliked it. I know a lot of people don't like it when I start sticking up for China. No one likes that, and because they're the bad guys. But I think it's necessary. Someone's got to say it. Please make sure you're liking, you're subscribing to my show, you're clicking that notification bell. And hey, you know what, amigo? Just join those couple of patrons I got a Patreon because I'm saying what I think needs to be said. I'm trying to be entertaining. There's a heck of a lot of work to make. And I'll leave you with that for today. And as always, we want to end with Zai Jin, which is goodbye, but also peace be with you.